Bangladesh is heading to the polls. The South Asian nation of more than 170 million people will hold its first general election since the dramatic uprising of 2024, the revolt that ended 15 years of rule by Sheikh Hasina and her Awami League. This election is being held under an interim government led by Nobel Peace Prize laureate Muhammad Yunus. For many Bangladeshis and for outside observers, it's being framed as something more than just a vote. It's being seen as a chance to reset a political system shaped by coups, dynasties, and long periods of authoritarian rule. To understand why this election matters so much, you have to go back. All the way back to how Bangladesh was born. I'm Afzal Ahmed and this is Aloud. This show brings you articles made for audio. In this episode, we've adapted the piece Elections 2026, a primer on Bangladesh's political history, published on TRT World on February the 5th, 2026. In 1947, British India was partitioned into two new states, India and Pakistan. Pakistan itself was split into two, West Pakistan and East Pakistan, separated by more than 1,600 kilometers of Indian territory. East Pakistan was overwhelmingly Bengali. It was culturally distinct, economically vital, and rich in resources like jute. But political power remained firmly in the West. Language quickly became a flashpoint. In 1948, Pakistan's founder Muhammad Ali Jinnah declared Urdu the sole state language. In the East, where Bangla was spoken by the vast majority, protests erupted. Those protests grew into a broader movement, one fueled by economic inequality, political exclusion, and resentment of distant rule from Islamabad. In 1949, a young leader named Sheikh Mujibur Rahman founded the Awami League, demanding autonomy for East Pakistan. Then came disaster. In 1970, a massive cyclone killed hundreds of thousands of people in the east. Aid from West Pakistan was slow and inadequate, and public anger exploded. Later that year, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's Awami League won a landslide victory in Pakistan's general election. But the leadership in West Pakistan refused to hand over power. And that refusal would change South Asia forever. In March 1971, Pakistan's army launched a crackdown in East Pakistan. On March 26th, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman declared independence. Guerrilla fighters known as the Mukti Bahini took up arms. India provided training and later intervened directly. After 9 months of war, Bangladesh emerged as an independent state in December 1971. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman became its first prime minister, but independence did not bring stability. By 1975, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman had dismantled parliamentary democracy and imposed one-party rule, installing himself as president. On August 15th that year, army officers assassinated him, along with much of his family. The killing plunged the country into years of turmoil and military rule. After Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's death, Khundakar Mustaq Ahmed briefly took power. Major General Ziaur Rahman seized control in late 1975. He later founded the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, the BNP, and became president in 1977. He held elections in 1979 and won. Ziaur Rahman reorientated Bangladesh away from India and boosted ties with the West and China. In 1981, he too was assassinated. In 1982, another general, Hussein Muhammad Ershad, declared martial law and ruled for nearly a decade. By the late 1980s, mass protests returned. Student movements, labor unions, and rival political parties joined forces. In 1990, Hussein Muhammad Ershad was forced to resign. Elections followed, and with them, a new political era. In 1991, Bangladesh returned to parliamentary democracy. Khaled Zia, the widow of Zia-ur-Rahman, became the country's first female prime minister, leading the BNP. Across the aisle was her lifelong rival Sheikh Hasina, the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, leading the Awami League. For nearly 2 decades, Bangladeshi politics revolved around these two women. Power alternated. Sheikh Hasina won in 1996, Khaled Zia returned in 2001. Their rivalry, often called the Battle of the Begums, defined the country's political culture. It was marked by street violence, mutual accusations of corruption, and deep institutional paralysis. In 2007, the army intervened again, backing a caretaker government. Both leaders were arrested on corruption charges. In 2008, elections were held. Sheikh Hasina won, and this time she didn't let go. From 2009 to 2024, Sheikh Hasina became Bangladesh's longest-serving prime minister. Her government oversaw economic growth and infrastructure expansion. But critics say it came at a cost. Opposition parties accused her of rigging elections in 2014, 2018 and 2024. The BNP boycotted several polls. Civil liberties shrank, dissent was crushed, and India's influence over Bangladesh's internal affairs grew dramatically. Khaled Zia, Hasina's rival, was sentenced to 17 years in prison in 2018. She remained under house arrest until 2024. That year, protests over job quotas spiraled into nationwide unrest. Hundreds were killed. On August 5, 2024, Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled to India. Soon after, the army chief announced an interim government. At its head, Nobel Peace Prize laureate Muhammad Yunus. Khaled Zia was released from detention. She died in December 2025, aged 80. Today, her son Tariq Rahman leads the BNP. The party faces competition from Jamaat-e-Islami and from a new political force, the National Citizen Party, formed by student leaders of the 2024 uprising. The Awami League, Sheikh Hasina's party, is barred from contesting the election. So when Bangladesh votes, it won't just be choosing a government. It will be voting after coups and counter-coups, after dynasties and deadlocks, after 15 years of increasingly iron-fisted rule. Whether this election marks a true democratic reset or simply another turn in a long cycle remains an open question. But for Bangladesh, the stakes could hardly be higher. That's all for this episode of Aloud, based on the piece Elections 2026, a primer on Bangladesh's political history, published on TRT World on February the 5th, 2026. I'm your host, Afzal Ahmed. Thanks for listening.